It's Sunday night. You're staring at your bank account, doing the kind of math that makes your stomach drop. Not because you made a terrible decision this week, not because you lost money gambling or blew it on something stupid. You just spent it, normally, on completely regular things. And somehow, there's almost nothing left. You're not broke, you're employed. You might even be doing well by most people's definitions. But the number in that app doesn't reflect how hard you've been working. And that quiet gap between effort and outcome is slowly eating you alive. Here's the truth that changes everything. Financial struggle at the middle-class level almost never comes from one catastrophic mistake. It comes from 10, 15, 20 perfectly reasonable decisions stacking on top of each other until the whole structure quietly suffocates you. Today, I'm pulling every single one of those decisions into the light. Not to shame you, not to lecture you, but because you literally cannot fix what you cannot see. My name is Mono. Let's get into it. Trap 1. The invisible income drain. Let's start with one of the sneakiest forces in personal finance. It doesn't show up on any bill, nobody sells it to you, you just accidentally buy it every time your income increases. It's called lifestyle absorption. And here's exactly how it works. You land a better job. Your salary jumps by $12,000, $15,000 a year. You deserve it. So naturally, you upgrade a few things. Maybe you move to a nicer apartment. Your grocery cart starts looking a little different. You stop flinching at the restaurant menu. Nothing excessive, nothing irresponsible, just better. 6 months later, you have nothing extra saved. The raise is completely gone. But you also don't feel richer. You just feel like this is what life costs now. That's the trap. Your standard of living expanded to match your income, like a gas fills whatever container it's placed in. And the most dangerous part, it felt completely earned the entire time. Here's what that costs in actual dollars. Say you get a $10,000 raise. That's roughly $800 extra a month after taxes. If you let your lifestyle absorb it completely, you feel slightly more comfortable for a few months, and then nothing changes. But if you redirect even half of that, $400 a month, into investments, returning 8% annually, over 30 years, you're looking at nearly $600,000. Not from a lucky investment, just from intercepting the raise before your habits noticed it arrived. The rule that fixes this is simple. Every time income goes up, save a minimum of 50% of the increase before you adjust your lifestyle at all. The lifestyle upgrade can still happen, just with the other half. Trap 2. The car you cannot afford to own. Picture the most average neighborhood in your city. Nice houses, maintained lawns, and sitting in every driveway a vehicle that cost more than most people's first year of college tuition, financed over 6 or 7 years, that will be worth almost nothing by the time it's paid off. The average new car payment right now sits close to $800 a month. 1 in 5 buyers is committing to over $1,000 every single month for a machine that loses value the instant it leaves the lot. And because those numbers scare people, dealerships have simply stretched loan terms to make the monthly payment feel manageable. 72 months, 84 months. You'll be making payments on a 7-year-old car. But here's the trap inside the trap. Nearly a quarter of people trading in a vehicle in recent years owed more than it was worth. They were underwater, sometimes by $6,000 or $7,000. So what did they do? They rolled that negative equity right into the new loan. The payment resets. The debt doesn't disappear. They just quietly took on a hole they'll never dig out of. You are not owning these vehicles. You are perpetually renting metal at terrible interest rates and starting over every 5 years. Run the long-term numbers on someone who always has a car payment versus someone who buys a reliable used car outright and invests the difference. Over 30 years, at reasonable market returns, the gap closes in on $1 million. Not from any investing genius, just from eliminating the payment. The car in your driveway is allowed to just be transportation. It does not have to be a statement. The statement it's currently making might be costing you your retirement. Trap 3. The bank that doesn't actually care about you. Here is something nobody explained to you when you bought your home, or when you were pre-approved, or when you signed all those documents at closing. The bank's approval does not mean you can comfortably afford the house. It means the bank has calculated that you will probably not default immediately. Those are two different standards, and your long-term financial health only matters in the second definition. Median home prices have climbed into the $400,000 range in much of the country. At current mortgage rates, that monthly payment before taxes, insurance, and any maintenance sits somewhere around $3,000 a month. Add those back in, and you're near $3,500 to $4,000 a month. And then add what research consistently shows is the hidden cost of homeownership, roughly $10,000 to $15,000 per year in repairs, maintenance, and surprise expenses that nobody factored into your budget when they handed you the keys. The HVAC that fails in August, the roof that doesn't care about your timeline, the appliances that seem to coordinate their breakdowns. The bank never mentioned any of that in the approval letter. The practical rule: buy less house than the bank approves you for. Not because you don't deserve nice things, but because the bank's incentive in that transaction is not your financial freedom. It's their return on 30 years of interest payments from you. You need someone at that table who's actually on your side. That person is you. Trap 4. The two-income illusion. This one surprises people every time. Research from a Harvard bankruptcy study found something completely counterintuitive. Households with two working incomes were actually more likely to file for bankruptcy than single-income households. Two paychecks, higher chance of financial collapse. How is that possible? Because a second income doesn't add up the way it looks on paper. Take a $50,000 second salary. By the time federal and state taxes cut their share, by the time you account for childcare costs, commuting expenses, the convenience spending that exhaustion makes inevitable, the takeout because nobody has the energy to cook, the grocery delivery, the shortcuts you buy just to survive, the actual net contribution of that salary can drop to under $10,000 a year. But here's the real damage. The family built their entire fixed cost structure around both incomes. The mortgage qualification, the car payments, the monthly obligations, all of it was calculated with two paychecks as the floor, which means both incomes are now permanently load-bearing. There's no margin, no backup. If one person loses their job, gets sick, needs to step back for any reason, the whole structure doesn't flex. It collapses. A single-income family from 50 years ago had something two-income families today have completely traded away: a financial reserve, a built-in shock absorber. The fix isn't to stop working, it's to structure your fixed costs so that one income can carry them. Use the second income to build actual wealth, not to qualify for more obligations. Trap 5. The subscriptions slowly bleeding you out. Quick experiment. Before you read the next sentence, estimate what you spend monthly on subscriptions. Got a number? Studies consistently show that people guess somewhere around $80 to $90. The actual average for most households runs more than double that, and nearly half of all consumers are currently paying for at least one subscription they have completely forgotten exists. Add up a realistic modern household stack: streaming services, music, cloud storage, a food delivery membership, a gym membership that someone pays every month on the inspiring logic that keeping it is motivating, and you're comfortably over $150 monthly before you even hit the apps that auto-renewed from a free trial. That's nearly $2,000 a year. Invested at modest returns over 2 decades, it becomes close to $90,000 for things you are mostly not using. Pull up your last bank statement. Scroll through every charge. You will find something that surprises you. That's not a criticism. That's just how these things are designed to work. Trap 6. Starting retirement late.
This trap is silent. It does its damage in complete invisibility until it's almost too late to recover. $500 a month invested at reasonable market returns starting at age 25 becomes over $1.3 million by 65. That same $500 a month starting at 35 becomes around $600,000. Same amount, same monthly discipline, a 10-year delay, $700,000 gone. Not lost to bad investments, just lost to waiting. The average American starts saving for retirement at age 31. The median retirement savings for people within 10 years of retirement age is under $200,000. Most people believe they need well over $1 million to retire with any comfort. That gap isn't a math problem. It's a psychology problem
called present bias. The human brain genuinely treats future needs as less real than present wants. Retirement feels like a problem for some future version of you. That future version is going to have very strong feelings about the decision you make this month. The solution isn't complicated. Automate the contribution. Set it up so the money moves before you see it, before you feel it, before your budget adapts to having it. The best financial decisions are the ones you only have to make once. Here's the thing that ties every single one of these traps together. None of them require you to be irresponsible. None of them require a bad decision or a moment of weakness. Most of them just require you to be normal. The car payment is normal. The house at the top of your approval is normal. The subscriptions, the late retirement start, the lifestyle that silently expands, all of it is completely, totally, socially acceptable normal behavior. And right now, normal means the majority of working adults living paycheck to paycheck. Normal means household debt at historic levels. Normal means people reaching their 60s with a fraction of what they actually need. Normal is the trap. The people who end up with real financial freedom aren't doing extraordinary things. They drove the ordinary car, they bought the smaller house, they automated their savings before their lifestyle could notice the money existed. They stopped measuring their lives against what their neighbors were financing. From the outside at 35, they looked like they hadn't figured out how to enjoy their money yet. From the inside, at 55, they looked like people with options. And options, the ability to choose how you spend your time, your energy, your life, that's what money is actually for. You don't need to fix all of this today. Just find the one trap on this list that hit closest to home. The one where you thought, yep, that one's me. Start there. That's where your story starts to change. If this landed, subscribe. There's more coming.